ready to throw it up for the start of this game.
There goes the siren, the ball is up, the rucks rise, and it's Broadford to win the tap out there, pushing out to their boys with good hand movement. There's a lot of water there, number 48 there, coming through from Gillard, pushing it forward, but good defensive plays there by Waller's, held the ball up, pushing it back out towards the wing. Going wide there for number 21 in Grimley. He has the ball, passing off to 22.
Jewett.
Handball, but being brought back, it looks like. Oh, it's a 50
penalty.
Yeah.
To Corey Grindlay. And he's going to end up right on the 50-metre line, kicking towards the northern end of the ground. He wouldn't make that distance, and he'd be looking for somebody to get it to, I imagine. He's not the world's best kick. In fact, he's handballed it to Stewart, and Stewart has kicked it high in the air, down into the forward pocket. The players are setting themselves. That was nearly a mark, but not quite. Later in the day, that might be paid, by the way, on a wet day. The ball's on the ground, they're wrestling, and the umpire has picked out a free kick. I've got no idea what it's for, but Broadford have got it, and they're bringing it across to our side of the ground. That's the western side of the ground, brought around the boundary line again. Another good kick, and it's Gillard again, I think, is it?
He's getting a few stats early on there. His kick is down the line. It's as close as you can get, and there's a lot of water. And I think you might find a Titanic underneath that. There's a bit of energy here by number 1 and number 34 there for Kelly there for Broadford. The boys don't seem to have an agreement on something, and the ball's about to be brought back in.
Well, they've been such good friends in the water there too. And here's the ball thrown in and hit down to the ground, picked up, put his head down, and it looked like a sling tackle to me anyway, around the neck, and that's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, he didn't have the ball, so number 5 there for O'Sullivan. Kicks the ball to the centre, coming across there, 37's held the mark there. Barton there, kicking the ball down now to a singular Wallen player who's entered it straight into the forward 50. Number 9 there has taken a juggling mark there for Makanovich, I think it is. Correct me on that one.
Makatic
there, and the ball's eventually been pushed out wide along the ground towards the boundary line, and it's an umpire's ball. Already seeing some of those wet weather conditions affecting basic kicks, basic handballs and basic marks.
And number 9 there, Makatic, has got something to bear because that was Daniel Nolan's number, I think, last year.
There you go.
So he's got a bit to live up to there. Anyway, the ball's being thrown in now. Pretty hard go by the boundary umpire there. Good throw there. Went to the ground and it's being wrestled, and the umpire said that's holding the ball, or incorrect disposal rather, and Broadford are going to take it along the outer wing, and that's a mark to Broadford as well. That's pretty good. I don't know if he meant to do it, but he's kicked it into the centre of the ground now, and Nelly another mark to Broadford. He's kicked it off the ground. That's wet weather footy, but Hibbins, that's rather Muldoon for Wallen has brought it across the other side of the ground, and that's Hall, who's running like a deer. And he's kicked it right into a beautiful lead to a Broadford player.
And Hall to Hall actually. Hall there for Broadford in good defensive motion, pushing the ball back out towards that wing here on the grandstand side. The bodies fly. And
that's a mark.
Yeah, the big man in 45 there in Fleming. Hold the ball back towards the half forward flank. The fists go up, the ball comes
hit him on the head.
It did. Men dive in, and the umpire's pulled that one there for in the back. Number 24 there for Broadford.
That's Galina.
Who's kicked, unfortunately again, sideways a little bit towards the forward pocket, off the feet, off the hands, and then out of bounds to be thrown back in.
Well, look, I like something is happening here. The umpires are paying a few free kicks, and I think that's the right thing to do on a day like today, Matt.
I think it's forcing the players to be careful, and going hard, but you've got to be careful too. So
the ball's on the ground. The throw-in went up right over the pack. There's pushing and shoving, jumping on each other, and nothing happening of any great value. Picked up nicely by, I think that's the Stewart, is it? But no, I can't find his number, that guy. Anyway, the ball's kicked into the middle of the ground. Broadford, that's a good pick-up. Excellent play. That's Williams, and he's put it into the forward pocket, but the defence for Wallen is pretty strong. It's brought out across the half-back line and put it into the scoring position for Wallen, for Broadford, and he's put a left foot kick in very nicely right through the middle of the goal.
I think that might have been Scully, I think.
Scully, was it?
Yep.
Well, Scully, he's kicked a very nice goal, and he deserves great credit for that. But a lousy defensive kick out by Wallen has permitted that to occur, put it right into the scoring zone, and the Broadford goal was good enough to pick it up and put it through with his left foot.
Take a correction there.
It's Comins.
He took the opportunity there to pounce on something in that forward pressure, that forward defence, but did something again that, David, I know you don't like, is that playing across the goal. You don't have to. The ball's been thrown back up. Rucks go in. Broadford, big winner out of that one there. Picked up, carried down, and we have a second ball up to go. There will be no bouncing today, folks. Far too wet.
So the scores are 1 goal Broadford, no score yet to Wallen, and we're watching a bit of a wrestling match close to the centre of the ground now. The ball's on the ground. A left-handed hand pass went nowhere. back on the ground, picked up nicely. The umpire has once again given a free kick, and Broadford are doing pretty well out of free kicks, if my memory is correct.
Yep, they're probably about 4-2, I think, on this favour.
So the Wallen fellow took his eye off the ball there. The ball's out in front of us on the commentary side of the ground, and it's going very close to the boundary line. And they throw themselves to the ground and push it over the line, and the boundary umpire will hurl it in.
Now, that was our first kick off the ground. I think we're going to see plenty more of those. As the boundary umpire brings the ball in front of the scoreboard, about to throw it in, the ruckman come forward. It's a little bit short, tapping forward towards the boundary line. Picked up by number 10 there and got Laley too high on the shoulder there. A free kick. He set the ball, looking for a forward, and greatly intercepted there by Broadford. Pushed away, and now Wallen another high tackle there. And that one was fairly obvious. You couldn't hide that one more. Ned Kelly had better conditions than that.
Decapitation for Barton there, and he's about 50 metres from goal. And his hand passed it away very cleverly to a player waiting on the side, and he's banged it right through. I tell you, that's a goal. To pick up that guy, Matt, but it's gone right over the goal umpire's head for one goal, and that's pretty ominous because it was an easy one.
It was, and no, it hasn't turned around yet. But I have to say that one goal straight each. It's accurate kicking. The training's working.
And that was pretty ordinary defensive play, because there was a man standing on his own right near the man who was going to take the kick.
Went to sleep there a little bit. Sometimes in the defence there needs to have a more vocal voice, more a loud authority there for Broadford to keep the defence intact. But the ball's been brought back. It's in the centre. The Rucks prepare themselves once again.
In the orange boots.
In the orange boots, and up it goes. The Rucks come in. Broadford win again. And number 12 there, Hall, I think it is again. No. Gillard again with the ball brought down, trying to do some roving himself unsuccessfully. Now the rest of the players swarm around for this next baller, and again, this time Hall wins there for Wallen. Ball back down into the pack. Umpire's looking for a free somewhere, but I think he's going to be forced to. No, he's letting it run and now pulled it in. I know the umpire's going to look for any free they can to keep this game moving, because this is the third ball up in a row, and I think it's going to be a trend.
Well, they can always find a free kick in a pack like that.
Yeah.
That's excellent play, but he lost control of the ball. And
Gillard again.
I'm not sure who that is. Is that
handballed off to Gillard, but intercepted by Broadford.
And that's a beautiful kick. He's kicked it 55 metres, right up into the forward zone for Broadford. Wallen picked it up, and it took him about 14 minutes to get rid of that, and the umpire said that's holding the ball.
Great tackle there by Bradshaw. Took him around, swung him around in a circle, didn't get rid of the ball. Now he's got a shot at goal. What would you say distance-wise, Dave?
It's 37.5 metres.
He's the most accurate measurement I've ever met in my life. All right, he lines up for a shot at goal here. Slight angle, pretty much in front, but only so slight angle. Follows through with confidence, but it's going to fall short, right to the top of the goal mouth. Off
punch through.
Defensive hands, and through for our first minor score.
And that makes it 1 goal 1-7 to 1 goal 6 for Wallen. So let's see what the fullback can do here. That'll be an interesting piece of strategy here to see how he goes about it.
This is our first kick out, and an inaccurate short pass could be devastating, and a big long bomb is just probably going to be the next big option. He's taking the chance to play on, running out of the square, a big kick.
Very unusual kick. It went trajectory was never seen before in a game of football, I don't think. Picked up, beautiful effort by the Broadford fellow there. Tried to pick it up, it was damaged, and it's gone to the ground again. It's rugged tackling, ball's on the ground, picked up by Broadford. He's kicked it away, and that's a mark.
Excellent work. He's playing on. Oh, there was moments there of Joe Danaher in last week's game with a slight brain fade there, but no, excellent work by
Hibbins.
Hibbins there.
And that's a pretty good piece of play, because the kick found him standing on his own. He didn't hesitate. He went towards the scoring zone rapidly, and he's kicked it from about 30 metres out, right through the middle.
So Broadford take a 2-1-13 lead over 1 goal nil, 6 points there for Broadford. So it's a 7-point lead.
So they'd be exceeding their expectations at this point. I think they should be pretty happy with their effort, giving their standing and status up against Wallen. So I tell you, well done, Broadford, to this point.
Indeed. The ball's back in the middle. The umpire is throwing it up. The Rucks come in, and it's even. There's a call here there by a boundary rider saying infringement into the square. Free kick going here to number 12.
Yeah, it's Gillard again.
Gillard again, getting a lot of kicks, and sends the ball into the forward line for the forward. Can't come out, but.
It's the wrong way.
It's the wrong way. Turn it around. Number 4 here for Wallen.
That's Rex Eppy.
Rex Eppy.
and he's kicked it right into the forward pocket. He's a good kick as a rule, Rex Eppie, and he's a savage. And the ball's gone over the line and out of bounds in the forward pocket about 30 metres from the Wallen goal. We're right in front of a car that is turned back to front, I see down there. I'm not sure what they're up to, Matt, but that car is turned back to front.
Isn't that protecting the windscreen? Not quite sure.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, Donald Trump has bombed Syria today. I hope it's not the KGB you were referring to last week that's in that car.
Anyone who wants a quick getaway, you always got to wonder about them, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Ball.
So ball's in the air and hit to the ground out in front of the pack, and it's gone over the boundary line again. No result there. It's moved about 10 metres only. So the boundary umpire getting a bit of a workout out in that forward pocket on the north eastern side of the ground, right near a light that would be on if we were playing at night.
So I'm just watching down here the Broadford teams changing a few of their smaller players and rotating them fairly quickly. The ball's been brought back in, numbers around it. It's messy. Broadford Wallen now has the ball with the first clean pickup, trying to push it forward though, dropped it. And again, the pack's starting to emerge, bodies go down. Umpire's found a free there, too high there for Broadford, and it's been brought out of there. And
a penalty.
Well, there you go.
Well, that penalty is a pretty ordinary one, I reckon. I'm a bit disturbed by the penalties. I'd like to find out what that was really about.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything there either.
So he's now in the centre of the ground, dead set centre of the ground, Broadford, and he looks like he might be a left footer. It wouldn't be the guy that kicked the goal before, I don't suppose, but that's a pretty good kick, and it's out in front. The Broadford fella did a right hand pass by Wallen, brought it across the ground. A left foot kick to nobody in particular by Cox, and it's going towards the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. Now that fellow that just came on the interchange for Broadford, the guy with the orange boots,
yeah,
his name's Fennick.
Fennick.
Now, I'm not going to argue with anything he said, just in the odd chance he might be related to Jeff, you know?
He's got that dancing quality that someone could be, capable of
yes.
making you see stars. We'll wait and see. The ball's been brought back in. It's come to the centre of the ground. There's a sleaze tackle, but it's been got away. The ball's been flicked out. I could say it was a throw.
That was a dead set throw.
And the umpire's now just calling a free there, going to Wallen for, I guess, an aggressive tackle. Saladino has the ball in the centre. He's looking wide to go across the ground, but forward.
Good kick, my friend.
It's deep into the forward line now, and at the back, right in the face, the umpire's found a free for pushing the back to Wallen. Number 34 there for Wallen. Davies now finds himself lining up. How far out, David?
Well, he's only 17 metres out, I'd say.
Good call, that.
But this guy is a mate of Wally Marrett. He likes him, and that's a goal. And that's a worry, Matt, because that free kick right in front of goal, and it may well have been a free kick. I'm just saying you've got to pay them all over the ground, not just in front of goal if they're going to be serious. And that was a pretty easy one. It may well have been there, but it was an easy one, and for a goal. The penalty is a big one today. It
is, and that draws us into about as close as you can almost get. 2 goals, 1-13 Broadford, 2 goals straight, Wallen 12, with a 1 point difference.
And the good thing is, free kicks are better than ball ups.
They are.
So we're back in the centre of the ground again. Another umpire to throw it up. Haven't seen him do this particular guy. It's a high throw, by the way. And hit out by Broadford and goes towards centre half forward for Wallen. Push forward, pretty well done. That's Muldoon. Muldoon has hit it across the ground to nobody in particular, although Barton's in a race for it in front. He's gone down in what looked like the Pacific Ocean over there on that side of the ground. I'm not sure if there are any survivors at all. It's gone down to Wallen, and they've got their hands on the ball. Rex Eppie, he's a good player, and he's kicked it right into the forward pocket, right under the chest of Barber, the man that the coach told us to look for, who got it away, and it's kicked back into the scoring zone now, right into the forward pocket, and that's a mark.
It's a mark there.
That is a mark to Hall, the ruckman, I think, with those orange shoes, and he's got very long legs, this fellow, and very long arms. And that was a pretty fair mark under the circumstances. He was in a good contest with the Broadford defender.
Here's our challenging point for him now. Here's the first tough angle of the day. He's lining up pretty much about 2 or 3 minutes, I can think, from the boundary line. He's gone through a practice swing, so he's backing himself. It's good to have confidence.
He is, and he's a right footer by the look of it, so he's on the wrong angle.
Yep.
Here he goes. Anyway, he's running up to the man on the mark. Now the man on the mark is doing all sorts of things, but none of that's going to work. And that's a pretty reasonable looking kick, but the goal umpire has indicated that that's 1 point only, and 1 calico will go up, being waved now, and that's a point to Wallen. Makes it 2 goals, 1 apiece, 13. So it's even Stevens. That's a pretty good result for this time of the match. That's about 12 minutes gone on my watch. May not be exactly correct, but he's kicked it now, the fullback, around to the half-back flank, 52 metres, and the ball has gone off the chest of a player and out over the line and out of bounds again.
Now, I've just noticed, David, that Woolman's just brought 4 guys off and 4 guys on at one time. There seems to be almost a tactical approach here about changes being at a set time, it sounds like to me.
What do you think about that?
Oh, it's fresh blood all on at once. Maybe there's a spearhead to go forward. The ball's just been thrown back in and the ruckman fly up, punches push the ball back towards the wing direction of a neutral zone there. Hard to tell who on which side has the ball there as a pack's form, and the umpire says, I'll throw it up again.
That was Rex Happy that did it down out of the ruck, and he plays in the ruck. Here he goes again, and very close to it. But he's about a foot shorter than the ruckman he's competing with. He's just a tenacious guy, and the ball's gone to the ground in the forward pocket. Pretty well done, but the umpire has blown the whistle. Acme Thunder. No, play on, he says, and more wrestling, more savagery, and a lot of Indian deathlocks and holds of that nature being applied in this pack. And the umpire is going to throw it up again.
A well-executed reverse half Nelson.
A reverse half Nelson. I've never actually applied or had one of those applied to me. I must get you to try that on me later.
We'll do that later on. Ruckman go up, the bodies emerge, coming through as Wallen with a bit more energy, but the ball's been pushed out of the forward 50. Good wet weather football. Number 1 there, Thomas there, but intercepted there by Broadford in defence. Ball then brought back out to the wing. Numbers favour Broadford, but boys bedding down.
Good play, my friend.
Play there, getting the ball out towards the forward line. It's 2-on-2, 25 versus 25, and the ball's been brought down. The umpires let it go. It's just outside the 50, being cleared out by the Wallen defence, and out of bounds on the full, being brought back in by number 6, I think it is, for... nope.
Well, the fellow that did a good piece of work to get it through the pack and out onto the side of the ground was Hemming, the guy that the coach told us to look out for, an ex-Wallen player. The ball is kicked into 24 for Galena. Yes, Galena. He's a good player. I saw him last year, and that's a good mark, by the way, to Hibbins. And I'd say that was a missed kick, but he's played on, and there's a man standing on his own. That's Hears. Well, he is a jolly good fellow, I'd say, because he's only about 24.5 metres out on a very slight angle, and my dog could just about kick this one with a decent runner. But that was a decent bit of play, Matt. Yeah,
three short kicks, well executed, well held, and took advantage of Wallen just not having their plays in the right place. In comes Hears now to have his shot, slight angle, evens it up, follows through, but draws it to his left, and unfortunately only a minor score. That brings the scores for Broadford to 2 goals, 2-14, and Wallen 2 goals, 1-13.
What a shame, because that was the piece of play that deserved the goal.
Probably the best bit of play so far we've seen today.
It was, and it was an ordinary kick in the end, but that's the way it goes. The ball's heavy probably already because it has been in the water a bit. Now the fullback Stewart has got it for Wallen. He's kicked it into the forward pocket. Nobody out there. I don't know his zones work very well in regional footy, but kicked around the ground on a good contest that sends the ball over the line and out of bounds again. It's going to be a world record for throw-ins today on the boundary line.
I think so, and just as a strange phenomenon happening here, off towards the south, I can see blue sky. So we live in perpetual hope.
Blue sky, is that? Well, it is too, but look at it. It's a brilliant observation. I didn't see it. It looks pretty murky over here, isn't it?
It's coming. Ball's thrown back in. It's in the wing position, centred. Push being forward there by Wallen. Handballs are quite good. Yes, pushing out there from Stewart, pushing out there to the flank, and centred in here to Hall.
Standing on his own.
On his own. He's got the ball, delivered it wide, but perfect mark there by Wallen. Who's that there? Number 13 for Wallen there. Schraven. Going back with confidence to feel that he might be able to get the range, I'm thinking we're looking at about 48 metres there.
That is a long kick in these conditions, now, but he's not wavering, he's not looking for anybody.
He's not a big guy, he's not tall, he's fairly stocky. I'm hoping he can follow through with this one, but the...
jumpers out over the shorts too.
We're looking for the Bendigo saver here on the line, I think. Might be up for a job, I think.
Okay.
And he's run around.
He's run around him.
Followed through with a kick. It's got the distance, but gone left just to the side of the goal line. So again, scores lock up even again.
And the goal umpire in his bright coat for going on and off again in the interchange for Wallen. The Broadford fullback has gone to get the ball and has then gone down in a pool about 7 foot deep just behind the goal. Anyway, he's kicked it a fair distance, 45 metres, and that's a good mark. Coming around here to Williams, is it? For Broadford.
Yeah.
And kicked out to Hall on the forward pocket. He's still in the forward pocket, really. He's going to come around this wing, no doubt. No, he's kicked it into the middle, and that's a good mark again to Galena. Well, Galina's got it kicking it around in front of our commentary box. That was touched off the bar.
Play on there for 21
Yes.
there for
Got out well though, and that's Muldoon. Muldoon has kicked it right into the forward pocket, picked up by. That's brilliant play. Really, Makatic has kicked it across to a man running in good position, only a few metres out of goal, and if my dog could have kicked the last one, well, he kicked this one with both feet.
Makatic had about less than a second to get that ball onto his foot. That was excellent movement, and then now followed through from that a goal here through for Wallen from pretty much dead in front, and that shows that again great ball movement by both these teams.
Well, it was a good run in the lead, going into position to take up that kick. And the fellow that had the mark in the half forward line who ran around the guy on the mark started that work, didn't he?
Yeah, and that good forward pressure again by the forwards to try and keep the ball locked in. I mean, Broadford got the ball out well, they were moving it well, but then took one too many risks it seems, and then when that risk came up, bang, Wallen jumped on board and then made them pay.
It was a bad mistake to kick it into the centre of the ground. I think he should have stuck with what I was suggesting. It's easy enough, of course, when you're back in the commentary box.
Yeah, we've done it before.
But it would have been the right thing to kick it around in front of us here on the commentary box side rather than into the middle.
I think the umpire is about to ball this up. He's bringing it back to the middle and up it goes. The rucks jump. Hall probably just a winner there. Back down to Wallen. You're holding the man there, but he's let it play on. No, he's found it for a throw. Incorrect disposal. Free kick going to Broadford there.
Right in the centre of the ground.
Indeed. Number 9.
9, that's, well, I don't know who that is. Yeah, that's Coomans, yes.
All right, the ball's down in the centre of the ground, centre of the full forward area, probably about 5 metres or 6 metres out from that area. It's going to be a ball up again, it'll hit the ground and just stuck. The ruckman fly. So win there for Wallen there, and off the fingers again, Wallen get their hands away defensively to draw the ball back out with a big torp. And only Broadford players to be found.
Oh, he's going to pay the mark. No, he didn't pay it. Well, what happened there, folks, was he flew into the air, put it in his hands, went to the ground and tried to grab it in as he's laying flat on his back in about 3 feet of water. And the umpire said that's not a big enough effort.
It was a Nicole Kidman Academy Award moment there. That was brilliant.
So the ball's in the air again. The Rucks hit it down. Wallen have got possession of the ball. That's a throw, I'd say, in anybody's language. But nevertheless, it's a wet day and it's a left foot kick down into the forward pocket and an excellent kick to Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson.
And he's handballed it away. That's Grindlay that's got it. Corey Grindlay. He's a good player.
He's going for goal and he's got it. What a great play. He ran as a right footer, curled around there, got himself centred. He had no one really around him, no great pressure. Followed through with a direct kick through the goals. Well done.
He's a good story because last year he was just a bit flimsy in the body and he was occasionally taken out of play by stronger and bigger bodies. But he's looking stronger and more confident this year, and that was a pretty good piece of play. A lovely kick to put it through, and never in doubt, really.
This is our biggest lead of the game now, with Wallen at 4 goals, 2-26. Broadford 2 goals, 2-14.
They need to score Broadford in return. I think that would hold the game up for them. Anyway, the football at that end of the ground is taking some getting back, and they've already used 3 footballs. So I might go and position myself down there and pick up a free Sharon.
There's a few spots for cars back there too, but the ball's going to be wet. So here we go. It's finally reappeared. It's come out of the depths of some hole and full of water the size of the Atlantic. So
right beside the Bendigo Bank sign, that guy was.
Yeah, good work.
The Commercial Hotel and other assorted businesses. So the umpire was tracking up a bit of water as he moves across there. He's still running pretty well, that guy too, by the way. Let's see how he goes backwards as he spins around.
Very well done.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Like Baryshnikov. Well done. Ball goes up. Rucks come in. Tap away there in favour of Hall, probably, Broadford. The ball goes back down. The bodies fly on. They're trying to draw it out. And the umpire's giving everyone the best opportunity to do that, or to probably give away a free. The throw up goes again. The bodies fly. And again, a Broadford win off the ruck, but Wallen's coming off on the ground better with the scraps. They picked it up the ball, pushed it wide there, and again out toward number 66 there with Robertson, but his arm's not long enough to reach it before it rolls out.
Like he's not in the AFL, they would have played that deliberately out of bounds.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, not good. Anyway, they're doing an interesting thing in the ruck, Wallen. They've got 3 different players circling through that ruck. So their Barber is in the ruck now, and it's gone down to the front. The umpire has signalled that that's a free kick to Wallen, and just which player we're not too sure. It's Saladino that's got it now. Left foot kick into the middle, and the Broadford fellow never looked like marking that, went straight over his head, and the ball's on the ground. That's Ripchaki that's battling for it. Yeah, pushed out again. Oh, that looked like it might have went in the back to me. Nevertheless, play on, it says, and another wrestle, WWF wrestling there, and nobody's going to get possession of the ball. The umpire will take it, and the Broadford fellow looks like he's very tired.
Yeah, this quarter is close to completion, so there's a chance here for Wallen to capitalise if they can. Broad have to hold it out. A good knockout from the ruck there by Broadford, picked up there by number 6 there. Coomans. Played out wide towards the wing, and that...
Oh, that's well done. He's hit it in front of him, he's kept the ball going.
And a push in the back.
That is a push in the back. And Skip Bray will be happy with that because he was going for the distance, keeping it going.
If the coach is looking for anything as an example on how to play it, that little play there would actually be the best example so far.
And would be. So they picked the ball up, Broadford, and that's a pretty savage attack, and he's gone to the ground like a poleaxe, and the ball's on the ground.
Nobody's got it. For the quarter.
That is the end of the first and 10 all the way out. The umpire's motioning now to the timekeepers that they should indicate they've seen him, and that's what's happening because he's going in now to throw the ball in the air to start the second quarter in this big game. The ball's hit down to Broadford, picked it up, very nicely picked up, a long left foot kick, that's a brilliant left foot kick right in the forward pocket. It hit the full forward on the chest and went to the ground, but the umpire said, what? He's coming in.
No prior opportunity, he's locked it in. We're balling up right in front of the goal square. Well called, David, that was excellent now. Here's a chance here for Broadford to start perfectly. The ruckman flying, knocked down there, smaller men dive for the ball.
Kick off the ground.
It's touched on the line by number 1, M. Thomas, who so far is in my book for Indigo Bank save of the day. Right on the line there, kicking the ball out now to 21 here for Wallen and Brimley. He has the ball, bringing it around the wing. He doesn't know who to go for, getting some shepherding support, passing off to number 12 there, under pressure, back to Brimley again, but the ball's been let go.
Still got it there.
Third attempt, tap on the face as well.
Long hair.
Yeah. The ball back along the wing there, handball, and the ball's been unfortunately pushed out by the side. But that was good play there by Brimley. He did 3 good attempts there, but unfortunately it didn't come to fruition.
Beat 3 players, and that's good play. Yeah, I like what he does, Greenlaw. He's going to be a star player one day. He's a very good senior player. So the ball's in the air. He couldn't kick it that far with that boundary umpire thrown it, and it's picked up by Duggan and gone in the direction of the goal. Hibbins has tried to kick it off the ground, didn't quite get to it, but coming back onto our side of the ground now, and that's almost what I would have called in the old days a rabbit. A rabbit is where you run backwards while the guy's jumping in the air.
Yep.
And taking his legs out from under him. But the umpire said that wasn't a free kick on that occasion. So another throw-in, that's 11,462 throw-ins we've had.
Indeed.
And all of them competitive. So the ball's in the air again, and pushing and shoving the ruckman, hit out in front of the pack. I'm not sure if that's a terrific tactic, because to me as though they couldn't quite get control of the ball. There it is, it's come out now though. And that's Duggan that's got it again, a left foot kick, but kicked it on a bouncing pick-up to Cox of Wallen has overrun the ball now. Wallen got it again. That's that's number 12. He's not on the list there, Matt, but that's the ghost player for the day. And he's kicked it around into the forward pocket, and the ball's going to come out.
Great defensive punch there by Broadford from number 4 there in Scully. Got his hand just around, not imposing on the forward there for Wallen, to push the ball outwards without giving away a free. Players, believe it or not, have got their hands up now, saying that I'm the ruck as the ball's about to be thrown in, but also covering their eyes from the sun. This is a crazy day. The ball comes back in. In come both ruckmen. A tap down there from Broadford, pushing it out wide, but picked up there by Wallen, re-centering the ball back towards the forward pocket. The body's flying, no success. The body's over the ball, and it looks like picked up again by Broadford. Number 32, brought to the ground, can't control it. Finally out there by number 4 for Broadford. Scully. Number 10 there for Wallen there. And Laley has just tackled 3 men, one after the other, to lock the ball in the forward line there for them. Excellent point of play.
It's about 15 metres from the goal, and on the boundary line. That looked like in the back, but the boundary umpire said, no, the field umpire has indicated that's a free kick, I think. And he's now signalled time on, so things are just waiting to be sorted out. There's a bit of India rubber man going on there.
Extensive cuddle time, I think.
Yep, and so the back pocket player for Broadford's got that. He's bringing it around the commentary side of the box, commentary side of the ground, and that's a pretty good play, I'd say, by Hibbins. He went through like a tank there and tried very hard to get rid of it. That's another good piece of play by Broadford. They're doing all right in this little stanza, and kicked off the ground. That wasn't a very wise thing to do. It's gone over the boundary line and out of bounds with Barber, the ex-Wallen player. No, it's not the ex-Wallen player at all. That's number 7. It was Barber for Wallen. Yeah. So the ball's gone over the line. He's the boundary umpire. He's trying hard, this boundary umpire. And they're pushing and shoving in the centre. 24 for Galena, that is, and 21 for Wallen. He's kicked that, and it might have just been touched on the line, I think.
Green light?
Oh, he's
No.
giving it a go.
Wow.
Well, where's the automatic replay? Score being reviewed. No, they can't do that here.
No.
Have you got that? The video man next to me is saying he's missed that one. But that was very close to being touched, I would have thought. Nevertheless, a goal is a goal.
And they pushed that lead out now, 5-2-32 Wallen to 2-3-15 Broadford.
And you know, that 5 minutes in this quarter has been pretty well contested. It's been up and down the ground and pretty hard going. Nothing clear, but that goal makes a significant difference to this match.
It does. The ball's back in the middle, the umpire balls it up, the bodies fly. Slight advantage there for Wallen there too. As the ball hits the ground, the smaller men dive on it, and it's back into a huddle in the middle, and the umpire says, I haven't thrown it up for 10 seconds, so let me do it again.
Then it's Jesse Davies. He's not a bad player either, the Wallen fella there. So Bulls in here, that pushed him in the back, but don't worry about that. The Broadford fellow, his left foot kicked down the ground, kicked it into the forward pocket. They're racing forward, kept it in front of him. The Wallen player picked up, excellent pick out. That'll be Greenlay again.
Oh, he's got rid of it though. He's pushed it out there, number 6. No, he's called for dropping the ball. I thought actually he did well there. I thought he got rid of that.
I think the player that went in to get the ball should have been given the benefit there. That's Fennick. That was Fennick. Don't argue with him, as I said before. Now the ball's kicked by Wallen into a very nice pass up the ground. That's Slaley got it again, and he's kicked it into the scoring zone and punched across the line for 1 point.
Yeah.
And that's good defensive play. And now there's a bit of fisticuffs as well, a bit of Marcus of Queensbury, but nothing to worry about, no TKOs or anything like that. The fullback's got it.
Excellent work.
So here we go. See what the fullback does. He's the...
And he's looking down the ground.
That's
This is
going
going to be a free kick. It didn't touch anyone's hands before it rolled across the line. So Warren had now a chance to solidify it back inside the 50, put further pressure there. Number 10, Laley, they are lining up. Put it at the front of the goal line, but it's off his boot.
He's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
And he's given the gift back. This is a bit like tennis, isn't it? You have a serve and I'll have a serve.
Well, if I was the field umpire, I wouldn't be letting those players stand here while the guy's trying to kick.
True, they were a bit close there. Push them back a bit, I think. Good point.
So here it is, the fullback's got it again. He hasn't kicked it out of bounds on the full this time. That's good. Good high fly. Ball's out the front to Broadford. They're bringing it round our side of the ground again, and that's going to be marked. That's a good mark by Bradshaw. Bradshaw has booted it down our side of the ground. It's gone about 35 metres into the centre, but he's going to be tackled. No, he got clear of that. That was Muldoon. Muldoon a while.
Over the shoulder there, 49 taking the ball there for Wallen, it looks like.
Yes, that's a free kick. I agree with that one. 19, he's kicked it across the ground to a man standing on his own. This is looking a bit dangerous now. And a beautiful pass, hit him right on the chest, but a fudgy piece of play on by Wallen there. Kicked around the corner, and Rick Sheppy, that is, I'll bet, who's thrown himself forward onto the ground. And I think he's telling the bloke who kicked it to him, well, that's pretty well done, but I've made it look even better with that piece of artistic marking. So he's 40 metres from goal, or perhaps a little bit more. A little bit less, I mean. Perhaps 39 metres, Matt, what do you think?
I think so too. Bravery there was in the benefit of the men just kicking and hoping, but it came off. And now he runs in to have a shot at goal. 1 step, 2 step, kick. Umpire moves to his right and gives us
1 goal.
1 goal. Well done. Well done.
Rick Sheppy, he's a very, very useful player.
Good technique there too. Followed through straight, didn't drift left or right on a wet day like that. An excellent result.
It was a good mark. He threw himself forward and scooted it off the ground. Could have easily gone to ground, which would have made it more difficult. But that goal is pretty important.
That diving mark was good enough for the Italian soccer team, I think.
Well, yes, and you wouldn't want to upset him by telling him you didn't like the way he's doing it. By the way,
excellent mark. Excellent mark.
Thanks.
The umpire has the ball now. He's looked to his left and right, clearing areas. Up it goes, the ruck dive in again, knocked away. Broadford probably an advantage with this, and again the ball locks in for another ball up because the umpire just loves doing it.
Well, you'd hope that Broadford could get a goal back here pretty soon and make it an interesting game. That's gone through the pack without the ball, unfortunately, but the guy on the ground is working hard. That's Galena, and he's got the ball out, but Wallen are in the van. They've got a number of players picked up. That's a free kick too, by the way. Didn't have the ball.
Well done.
That's Hibbins, I think.
That's going through there, number 3 there.
Gibbons.
Yep, well done.
And kicked it with a pretty ordinary looking kick down to the forward line, into the forward pocket. It's going to be towards the boundary line, and they slide as a tactic, and then the Broadford guy puts his arm up in here as if signalling the goal to the field umpire, would be giving me a free kick. But that's not happening. So guess what is happening, and that's a boundary throw-in. And so the boundary throw-in now right in front of the scoreboard, excellent scoreboard by the way, and hit down the front. The field umpires run 40 metres the other way. I don't know why you do that, but the ball's on the ground, it's wrestling and fighting, it's around the throat, around the neck, in the back, thrown out, so the player's being let go, and it's over the boundary line and out of bounds.
The umpire's going to set another throw in for the day, like we haven't had out too many already. There's a free kick given out now. It's number 2 there for Broadford.
Yeah.
He sent the ball through to the front of the square. It's come out towards the forward pocket, and there's a lot of energy now there. People diving on the ball and going out of bounds again, probably about 15 metres around. Again, by the way, Wallen initiating their 4-man transfer every what looks to be, by my account, about 6 minutes. The ball's going to be thrown back in now by the umpire, deep in the Broadford offence. Knocked away there by number 60. The ball bounces around like a ping pong, and a couple of quick handballs out, a couple over the shoulders that could have been given. The umpire's letting it go, and Wallen draws it out of defence to the centre of the ground.
Saladino, and that's a good mark to Broadford. He, with the orange boots, he's going back like he owns it, and he's got about 4 stone 6 ringing wet, that guy, but that's a pretty long kick. And it's going to be marked. That's by Hibbins again. He's played on, and it's always kicking the entire history of the game along the ground almost. But I think this will be Saladino, will it?
Number 24,
Galina, rather. Galina, that is. Who's got it, and the goal umpire. No, the field umpire is saying, take a free kick, my friend.
Now, this is 21. I actually have him on our list for Broadford.
Well, he's a ghost player too.
This guy's player number 2, I think.
There's the Phantom. So the Phantom has got it. And he's gone for a short pass, believe it, into the forward pocket. It's even worse angle than where he was before, but he's closer to goal now. He's only about 26 metres from goal.
He's got a banana,
and he's going to do something special, he thinks, but that is out of bounds on the full on the other side of the ground.
It's possibly the straightest banana I've ever seen in my life.
It went dead straight, didn't it?
It did.
If he kicked out at the goal, it might have gone through, mate.
Yeah, you probably, hopefully you learned from that.
So the ball is coming back across the boundary line now, and we'll soon have it.
Actually, no, it's going to be given out. It was so bad it was out of a full. So it's a Wallen free kick right at the point post here. He'll drive it towards probably the forward pocket. And a relatively short kick out there, finding it just near the 50-metre mark there, coming out of defence for Wallen.
So ball's kicked along the eastern side of the ground and handled poorly by Hall, and it's gone over the line and out of bounds. So what can we say? The sun is out now. That's right. The blue sky is fine. The grass looks green. No water, no wind, and no rain. It's almost footy weather.
It is. The ball kicked down quickly there by Broadford, back inside the 50. But defensive numbers there for Wallen, draw it out now. Handballs, which have become the flavour of the day at the moment. There's a Broadford player being chased down by 4. He leads the ball deep into the forward line there for Wallen. And look, not as much conviction there by number 10 in Scully. Bit more there from the Broadford player to see it forced out of bounds. But I guess now it's in their forward line and they can lock it in.
I think he was at the end of his energy cycle, Lally there.
Yep, I think you're right.
I don't think he could have gone another metre, so it was an interesting bit of play by Broadford, hit it out of bounds. So bit of pushing at the rack, but picked up. Oh no, it's Saladino has kicked it with the left foot about 6 metres, kicked in towards the centre of the ground, and Broadford have cleared it away. But this is interesting because there's 1 on 4 here. And Wallen have got the numbers and they've pushed it out, and that's a free kick anyway. Pushed the defending Shepard over the line, but a mark at centre half back, true centre half back by Broadford, and he's kicked it across the eastern side of the ground, out onto the wing, and he's getting dangerously close to the boundary line. But the Wallen player beat him there. He picked it up and kicked it back in to Ballard.
He's one of the other 19 players here too, looking positive. Draws the ball back to a big kick to near the top of the square, really. Knocked down the back there, picked up by Broadford defence and cleared away. Number 21 here there for Broadford. Racing after the ball with a lot of speed.
Grindley.
Wow, can he move?
It's very good play.
And he's got it again.
Yes. picked up the other guys. That's him, that's him.
Yep, and number 13 now here for Wallen here is Scraven. There's the ball, centres it backwards to 34 there. Who Davies into the middle there for
running player.
Number 5 there. The handball's away there. Possibly again a terrible kick across the ground, but picked up again by our goal kicker. Is that again your man?
I'm waiting for it.
Number 6.
Number 6. Saladino, was it?
Saladino. Wow.
There you are, Saladino. Well, that's a good goal.
Wow.
And unfortunately, coming out of the fence, Broadford were unable to find a player to kick it to. They had possession of the ball, 1 on 3, 1 on 2. The numbers packing up the ball and pretty good across their centre back line.
That speed and energy from Grenley there on the wing there certainly turned the ball back inwards, and I think caught the rest of the Broadford defenders out of position, thinking the ball was out and gone.
He's a seriously good player, isn't he?
He is indeed.
So he's got a good feature. Never takes his eye off the ball, Corey.
Yeah.
And that was really his scoring commencement opportunity. So the orange shoes are in the centre of the ground, waiting for it to be thrown up. That's Hall, and the field umpire is doing it again. And I'll tell you that it was got away by Gillard on that occasion. But a free kick to Wallen. And Grinley, he's handling the ball more times than anybody, this guy, and that's a pretty good looking kick, but it's going to be well defended by Broadford. Hit him in the face almost, went to the ground again. They just can't take a trip sometimes, and here we have O'Sullivan trying to pick it up, kicked it back along the ground pretty well. Thomas has got it now for Wallen. Ball comes out, hit it, they should be yelling out to that Broadford guy, don't try and pick it up there. And the ball's in the middle on the ground, and they're wrestling for it, and now it's a free kick
going through the Wallen.
And I think that's quite appropriate because it was too high, and now there's a bit of a wrestle.
There's an excess. They're playing on now, trying to get the ball to continue on. The second umpire is taking advantage of it, playing on for Wallen, passing short there for a man who's probably about 20 metres out on the angle. Meanwhile, the other umpires left to deal with the disagreement in the centre. Can't make out who that Wallen player is the ball though.
And the disagreement is not really a fight at all, just a bit of pushing and shoving, and won't be much in that, but unnecessary in the extreme, I'd say.
Yep.
So we're on the forward pocket pretty well, in between the half forward flank and the forward pocket, and he's looking like he might be a footballer, this guy that's got the ball. He's coming in about 30 metres. Let's see what he can do. He doesn't.
Oh, there we go, down the line.
That's the save of the day.
There's the save of the day.
So Bendigo being save of the day by Broadford. Hit it across the...
So Norris has the ball on the back pocket. Now for Broadford, leading out. Big kick down towards the centre wing. The bodies fly. The big man up, but no one can bring it down. Wallen looks better on the ground now with number 12 there, bringing the ball back into the centre area, and marked there by number 9 for Wallen there with Makatic. They have the ball. Small handball.
That's holding the ball.
And a terrible disposal there by Wallen, and great defensive play there by number 6, who again is one of our mystery players here on the Broadford team.
Yeah.
Centering the ball to the middle of the ground, it goes through everyone.
Kick it, that's better.
Off the ground, and we get some movement in the right direction, but the numbers favour Wallen, pushing the ball out wide.
Too many of them.
To Thomas. He cannot pick it up.
Oh, that's in the back.
In the back, umpire lets it go, and they have a chance again.
That's Fennick.
That's Fennick again, pushing the ball sideways. Look, the name might indicate he's as flighty as a butterfly and still like me, but I think he needs a little bit more practice there.
And you know, your Bendigo Bank save of the day on the back one, that was number 12 that did that. That was
Gillard?
Gillard.
Yep.
And make a note of that, would you?
Will do.
And here we go. They're hitting it to each other and kicking across our side of the ground, out in front of the players. Picked up, well handled, and tried to get it away, put his boot into it. Only about a 3 metre kick now. And this 24 for Broadford's a bit of a goer. He's not a bad player at all. That's Galena, but picked up now by Bala.
Yep.
Bala has kicked it into the forward line. That's Rick Sheppy who went for it, but couldn't make anything out of it. And if my memory be right, I'd say Rick Sheppy's only had 2 kicks for the entire half.
He's been kept quiet.
Yeah. But one of those was a damaging goal, of course.
Indeed.
So here we are. The boundary umpire is ready to go. And the ruck set themselves. They've signalled who will be doing it. And no real winner there. It's come to the ground. That's Barber. Thrown out. Broadford have got it. out in front, man with the gloves is going down for it. Oh, picked up, well done mate, but fell over in the rain, and he's just indicated to him by pushing him in the throat and the neck and the knee. I'd say that if I was the umpire, he'd be getting a free kick paid against him right now.
Duggan spent more time there adjusting people's ties and collars, I think, than actually doing things with the ball. So hopefully he can get a bit more, ball game out of him at this point in time. But the umpire brings the ball back in. Hall's up there at the back there, but tap out goes in Broadford's favour.
He's done it again. He didn't go to the
back.
ball.
He didn't push in the back, and a play on automatically down the ground to Wallen. The big men fly, but defensively, Broadford have got the capabilities. They're bringing it out there now. Drawing it back across. Oh, here's the terrible thing. Kicking kind of across the goal and away, and number 50 there, Hall, has marked the ball on the 50-metre line. He centres it towards the top of the square and coming out to it.
Good mark, mate.
Wallen again here in the forward line there with a mark about 55 metres out. Number 66, T. Robertson, has a shot now probably about 37.5 metres out.
And that was an intelligent kick by Hall. He put it out in front of him, gave him distance to run at it in front, so a defender couldn't possibly do anything about it, and he's thrown himself forward and marked it just an inch or two off the ground. And now we'll see if he can convert this into a goal. But
steps in slowly.
Here we go. What's happening? It's a left footer, and he's made the distance, and it's cleared the pack. And it looks like a goal to me.
It is.
And
the Broadford players try to jump there to reach it, but it probably had about a 2-foot height on them too, so that pushes Wallen out to a handy lead there. I believe it's an 8 goal 3 51 to 2 goals 3 15. So this has been a relatively devastating quarter, to tell you the truth. It's sort of snuck up on us.
But it's been done pretty easily, but I think the coach ought to go and have a talk to Duggan of Broadford. He's going to get somebody into trouble if he's not careful.
Yep. Ball goes up in the middle and the ruckman fly. Tap out there by number 12 for Broadford. Well tackled. A bit of a high tackle there.
It's a good tackle, I thought, but nevertheless he's got it, and that's the way it is. So Bella has hand passed it away. It's gone up into the half forward line, and Scragan is out in front dealing with it, but couldn't pick it up properly. Head does now. He's backed up and kicked it with a short one into the centre of the half forward line. And number 12 has kicked it into the forward pocket. Number 12, I don't see any number 12.
No, there's one of our mystery players. And a point there picked up there in the forward push there by Wallen to add again to the scoreboard. The ball go back to the full back.
Yes.
Number 32 there in Kane Hall, who has the ball now and is looking to either work out how he's going to get it back down the ground. It looks to me like it's going to be a long bomb.
I know, so that's not a bad kick. That's gone 55 metres and it's marked. No, it's dropped. It's dropped. But
off the ground again by Broadford. Out wide here, the Wallen on the wing. A great pick-up diving mark there by number 19 in McKenna, who's now asking all the players with his hands pushed out, slow it down, boys, slow it down. He's pushed it out wide and backwards to their full back, who's sitting on the defensive 50-metre line there in number 2. Cox out to number 12 on the wing there for Broadford. Pushing him long, he's taking not a bounce but a touchdown there and looking to maybe gone more than 15, I think, umpire, and he has gone more than 15, and it says thanks very much to Broadford.
That was a still gift distance he ran there.
He did, he was indecisive, handball, no, and it all turned out badly. So a short kick by Broadford out of defence down to the wing side there, finds number I think 34 Davies there with the ball, kicking again down the wing side there, only finding Wallen players, and it pushes towards the boundary line for another throw-in.
And we just had over there, I wonder what they're there for. Oh, that's a gate through the fence, is it?
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, so we're getting well into the depths of this quarter, and Broadford are not able to keep the contest going as well as they did in the first quarter. But Wallen have got it again, and hand passing out. They're doing better with teamwork now, and that's a long run as well. And he's kicked that 55 metres, and that's a very good kick into the forward zone. And they're wrestling for it, they're throwing it out in front, gone back in after it with the rabbit work, and it's on the ground and the umpire's going to say, I'll take it. It's about 20 metres from goal, in the forward pocket, for Wallen, in the scoring zone.
Broad have to dig in deep here, otherwise they're going to let out an insurmountable lead here to yes. Wallen. The ball gets balled up, it's punched back out. The small men have it and they push it away there. The umpires let the game go. Handballs are a bit awry and we've pushed ourselves another 15-20 metres around the boundary line to the 50-metre mark. in the forward area here.
So that's the difference, Matt, isn't it? The handballs for Wallen go to Wallen players.
Yeah.
Handballs from Broadford go out of bounds.
Yeah, go no one out of bounds. Exactly, Pete. Well done.
Yeah.
Ball comes back in here from the boundary. The ruckman fly, hauls in there, arms over the shoulder. Umpire lets it go. Number 21 there for Ginley again. A short kick, opportunistic kick. And number 9 for Wallen D. McCurtich has the ball now with a shot of goal on about a Makatic, about a 45-degree angle. He's taking it back.
In Daniel Nolan's number.
Yep, indeed.
And the good thing about that is, if you're in the right position when you get a missed kick, then you'll get it, don't you?
Exactly.
He was in the right spot, and that's a good kick. That's right through the middle of the
Now,
ground.
that is possibly, if I can recall, the second goal in this quarter, as the siren goes, that McGinley was an architect of.
Gwynlay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gwynlay. He's been an influential player, I'd say. And I don't know, it's easy enough when you're up here, but I would have thought when Broadford decided they needed to get involved physically without worrying too much about the ball, that they went backwards from that point on.
I think you're absolutely right. The mindset changed, then the game changed.
It did indeed. So we're at the half-time break now. 2 goals 3, 15 is Broadford to 8 goals 5. It's 53 to Wallen, and we're watching the umpires come in now. Look, some of those look as though they'll be able to make it through the second half. So that's a pretty good result. And it's unfortunate that Broadford have lapsed a little bit in that quarter, because they tried very hard for a quarter and a bit. But overall, Wallen were just too professional, really.
Yeah, the duress of the...
He's got the ball, Matt, and he's ready to go to commence the third quarter in this game.
Up the ball goes, the ruckman dive in, Hall taps away successfully there. It goes down to Broadford feet though, and they're pushing the back as the first man of the ball, in this case Broadford, gets the ball to boot it on down to their forward line to start the game off. A good start. Kicking it though towards the big man at the back there. It's picked up there by number 1 there for Wallen. And Thomas, he's moved the ball back down towards the wing area. It's the wetter part of the ground. The man down is not given the free kick when picking the ball up. It's locked in, and the umpire says, I'll have a go.
Well, indeed, he's coming in now, and he's going to throw it up, and he's instructing the players where to stand, how to look, how to brief, and the ball is knocked to the ground into a rugby tackle, more or less, and Wallen are going to receive that free kick.
I can say I think the word's been heard there by the Broadford coach. The Broadford boys are diving in much harder. It goes up to the top of the 50-minute mark there for Wallen, and Broadford have got the ball there to work out through defence. 3 handballs in a row, well done, and a kick executed but slightly poorly, picked up by Hall for Wallen, kicked into the centre area, no mark taken, let bounce, and there's an injured man there who's going down with what looks like a groin hit, unfortunately, and the ball's been brought out there by Wallen, back out to the centre wing.
It's Kalina, I think, but he's kicked it out onto the wing, and Thomas has picked it up for Wallen, pushed it out again. They're jumping over one another, and there's a variety of people going to the ground and looking like they're not a bit the worse for wear there. That's 2 or 3 in a row. Anyway, another ball up is going to ensue, and we're waiting to see who can get that ball out. And that's 2 Broadford players contested for the ruck themselves.
Probably a free kick there.
It should have been a free kick, because only one allowed to go for it, and where was the Wallen ruckman anyway? So Wallen have got the ball out now. That's a pretty good hand pass by Saladino, but Broadford have kicked it in the direction of the centre of the ground, and they run into each other. They're bumping hard, but not doing much good with it. There's Thomas again. He has a few kicks, but most of them go along the ground, and nobody's getting possession of the ball. Sorry, Matt, what's that?
Norris there on a good try there. The ball's been flicked out there for Hall, a big man, slightly outnumbered, and Norris again to pick the ball up. A good knock away, draws it back into the centre of the ground, looking for Broadford players off the fingers, and a bit of defensive work there from Wallen coming out there in number 22 for
Stewart's got it now.
And put that to the wing there, picked up there by a Broadford mark, just defensive winged more so. Looking now to slow the game down to see who he can go towards. A short pass further out to the boundary.
That went 9 metres.
Yeah, and wide there. Again, a pick up for Wallen. Again, looking for bodies and just seeing whether Broadford here can man up.
I don't know how many rules my wife knows about football. She's pretty sure she knows about when they kick it far enough for a mark and not for a mark.
Yep.
She'll tell me about that when I get home, of course. And Wallen have got the ball. They're running loose here, and the ball's in the forward pocket, and he strode towards goal and kicked it into the goal square, and that's through for another goal, and that's a very, very damaging goal.
That's a calculated approach there by Wallen. They had that ball in the back flank. They stopped the ball. They held the game up to look around. They then kicked long to to a congestion. It went out the back, and it really only was Wallen players there feeding off the pack at the back there, and drew the ball into the goal area and through for a goal. So that's a disappointing start here from Broadford. They came out with a lot of physicality, but I don't think it's correctly aimed. I think it's been aiming at the man rather than at the ball.
Well, the skill level is the problem here, and it's 10 goals 565 to 2 goals 315. It's a very long time since Broadford kicked a goal.
It is. The ball's back in the centre. The umpire has it. He looks around. He's about to ball it up now.
And he's having a discussion with somebody about something. I'm not sure what that is. Oh yes, he's speaking to the ruckman for Broadford, and well, Broadford fella doesn't like it much, I don't think.
No. Up the ball goes. Tapped away there. Probably a win there, the Broadford. Coming through with bodies
That's a good
there.
run.
Good run there. 22 there from Stewart there from Wallen. The ball gets tapped out. It's ricocheting around like a pinball. There's a throw down which is deemed illegal, and the ball goes off towards a Broadford player there to bring the ball for the first time into their 50 if he can. The long kick there by number 9.
That's Koemans.
Koemans back to the back of the pack there, but the body's flying. No one can get control.
That's a free kick.
That's a free kick. They let it play on though. The handball is not coming out well, and Broadford still fighting to keep it inside their 50. Wallen kick it just out of it, and up go the bodies that fly. Hall there, knocking the ball away from the midfielder there for Wallen, and it goes out of bounds.
Hall has handled the ball a few times, and he doesn't seem to have an opponent anywhere he goes.
And he's getting a lot of ground coverage. He's everywhere where the ball seems to be too.
Yes,
so
and he's like I said before, he's 4 stone 6, wringing wet. He's easily knocked aside, but he's doing all right today.
He is. The sun's come out. The ball's hit the ground from the ball in, and it's getting flicked out well by the Wallen defence, who've now kicked the ball long and wide and found only Broadford players out on the wing as it dribbles outside again. Dead centre wing for a throw-in.
And we're in Middle Eastern conditions now. The sun's out, it's warm, we expect to see camels going
There's
past
a camel
any
trying the
moment.
far side there, David, taking you back to Baghdad.
So it's a throw-in. It's 458 feet in the air, and gone to ground and over the boundary line again.
It went higher than it went deeper, I think.
That's true, and it's right in front of the Broadford Post Office, so I'm sure they're doing great work at the Broadford Post Office. So boundary umpire getting a workout, a strong workout here. And Wallen has 2 players ready for the interchange, not 4 this time. No, they're all coming around, Matt. 4, they're going to have change again. And the ball's on the ground, wrestling and fighting. And Hall tried to kick it away with his orange boots, couldn't do so. And they're wrestling, and it looks like a Meccano set that match there.
It does. They've wrapped it up. The umpire will take this. He'll push the boys back and wait for them to come in. He does it fairly quickly. He gives them space to go backwards, he says. In come the ruckman. They punch away, probably in Broadford's favour, and they're pushing towards the direction off the ground a little bit. And now they've got the ball, Broadford, with possibly one of the worst kicks of the day. And again, a diving in for the ball, and the umpire said that's too high. And Wallen will have this coming out of defence.
So we've got 5 contenders for the worst kick of the season already.
In 2 games of football.
So we're watching carefully the important skill levels. That's a mark, I'd say.
Yeah, a great mark there. So I'm not sure who it is from Broadford, but in the middle of the ground, he's drawn it back into the top part of the 50. But there's too many Wallen players in defence.
They've got at least 46 players on the ground, in my opinion. The ball's gone on the ground, and he's just laid on his back.
Yep.
And the umpire says, well, it's not the back, it's his clavicle that's the problem. And he's taken it for on the shoulder. So,
who's that for Broadford there? Can you make that out?
now I can't at the moment, but
He delivers a kick into the forward pocket, but the back pocket there for Wallen successfully held that mark. He gets knocked over for his good work, but he's gone back defensively. He's going to draw it out of the 50, defensive 50, and found number 66 there in Robertson with the ball now in that flank area. He's taking his time to find the right people. He's thinking about a handball. There it goes, back over to number 22.
Stewart,
he kicks it, centering onto the ground there, but it's a bad pick up there. Hall doing the roving and the handballs. Excellent out the 37.
Oh, got it.
Brought down though, the umpire said, play on, that should win. But the Broadford got advantage, kicking it long into the centre of the 50-minute mark to a Broadford player who has a shot.
and he's kicked it.
And he's kicked it, and we're on the board again for Broadford.
That is a good goal.
Fantastic news.
So that's 48 metres he's kicked that, he's run onto it, a very nice kick to him, hit him on the chest. He had enough presence of mind to raise the eyes, look up the ground, see who was around him, and then positioned the kick just beautifully, went through at about waist height, and that's a goal, and an excellent goal by the way.
Great transition football there, coming in from Broadford, coming out of their defence into the forward line. What's the score look like there, Dale?
So it's 3 goals 3-21 Broadford, the 10 goals 5-65 Wallen. It's a comeback by Broadford, and another one here would make it interesting.
Okay.
So we got back to the centre of the ground, and Hall's ready himself. I'd put him in their best players up today.
I would say too. Not only is he getting more taps, but he's doing better things with it.
Yes. So there it is, and the Broadford fella got it, and they rushed through the pack, trying to get out, and there's a wrestle on the ground. They're tackling with both legs across, and I've never agreed with that, by the way. Nevertheless, here it goes. Another ball up, and Hall got it away that time. Hit it straight down to a teammate. Picked up beautifully by the Wallen fellow there, and hit it out. And there's
number 9 for
number
Broadford.
9.
We don't actually have it. No, there is Koemans.
Koemans has got it out, but he's juggled it and lost it, and now they're running hard. And he's run a fair distance, but he's got the ball out in front of a Wallen player. The ball's on the half forward flank for Wallen now. And Barber
tried there with a tackle, ended up being just a trip. Yeah. That's brought down number 9 there, and Koemans again, who centres the ball there to 34 in Kelly, who kicks long, hard from the 50-metre mark. And he's kicked truly, I think. And a few players want to tell him about it afterwards. I don't know what they want to tell him. He's done a perfect job.
And 45 is one of the constituents there. I haven't seen him get a kick yet, and by the way, he's not on the list of the players. He's always up there, Fleming, yes. You see folks listening in wondering about these numbers. We couldn't get a record when we came in today because it's such a big crowd, they were all gone.
Yep.
And we were here early.
Yeah.
So I don't know who has got all the records, but unfortunately we had to rely on other sources for our numbers today. But that's the way it goes, and we're happy enough to be here. It's a good day, and we're watching a decent game of footy, good contest, but unfortunately Wallen just a bit in advance at the present time.
The lead is now exactly 50 points. The ball gets pushed away in Broadford's favour. Being pushed out here by number 24 in Broadford. A lot of tapping on the ground. Still that wet weather football, of course, but no one seems to be able to draw it out. And we're on to the far side forward flank here for Broadford. The ball's going to be balled up again.
It's out in front of that notorious Broadford post office sign again. Ball's on the ground and out it comes. Picked up beautifully though. That's a really good hand pass from Broadford, and it's kicked out in front, and a very nice kick. Picking out the Wallen defender beautifully. That's McKercher, and he's got the ball in his hands, and he's kicked it across in front of the commentary box very decently for us so we can see easily. And the ball's gone out in front. Robertson picked up again by Robertson. He's handballed it away. Only one player here for Wallen, the 3 Broadford players. Hit the ball out, but he's fumbled it. The Broadford fella couldn't pick it up. That's Grindley on the ground wrestling for it. He's hit it through the guy's legs, and the ball's over the line, out of bounds, and it's a throw in. Notwithstanding number 2, here's for Brett Broadford suggesting it was out deliberately. Anyway, boundary umpire's watching to see where the players are assembling, and strangely enough, they're right behind him. Here it goes, into the air, and that's Rick Shappy. Got the tip down in front. Number 3, Evans, that was for Broadford, got it out. 23 is a chance for him to redeem himself. He's had a go at a few people, but he didn't seem to be able to get up and tackle that time. And the ball's in the middle of the ground to O'Sullivan, who's got the ball. Hand passed it away. That's another one to Saladino, who's got it now. Hand it on again. That's Muldoon, and Muldoon has kicked it.
There's a mark on the right of the line there, David.
Is that a Bendigo save of the day?
I think it might be.
I think it is a Bendigo save of the day, but here, let's see if he can save it with the kick as well. He's run across the point post and he's kicked it out along the boundary line. That's going to go almost over the line. No, it hasn't gone over the line. In fact, the Wallen fella kept it in. He did well there. Rick Sheppy's gone in. He's going to pick it up, and he's tackled by the leg. Unfortunately, the umpire says, I'm not giving you a free kick for that, mate. So he's going to throw it in again. Now, this world record number of throw-ins is proceeding, and we're waiting for 2 people to compete in the ruck, and they've done that. Rick Sheppy out the front again, looked over the shoulder, out the front, and to O'Sullivan again, and that's a mark, I think, to Muldoon, is it?
It is, sliding mark there.
And he's kicked it into the scoring zone. That's an intelligent kick, right into the teeth of goal almost. Picked up by the Broadford defender. He's gone back across goal, kicked it into the forward pocket on the other side of the ground, and believe it or not, that's a Broadford fella that's marked it, and I think that's Hibbins.
He has absolutely no one up the ground to go to. Now number 13 is broken away there for Broadford there, but again the numbers favour. He's fought himself out of it. Broadford got it back there, definitively kicking it out into the forward wing there area. Number 5 there for Wallen, and O'Sullivan has the ball, drilled it back in and found a contesting mark there by Barber, running out of the full forward. An excellent mark.
And he's the fellow that the coach told us to watch out for. and we'll see what he can do with it. He's 42 metres from goal on a slight angle and no wind to speak of. The sun not in his eyes. The sun's disappeared temporarily, hasn't it? Even though the sky is a bit blue.
He's shot a goal.
And that's a good kick to me. That's gone the best part of 50 metres, that kick.
Well done.
And that's a goal.
Well, the coach was right. He's got a good kick.
He is. He's not a bad player. That's 12 goals, 5 now. And that's looking a bit ominous.
It is.
So something different has to happen. And it's no good trying to do what you've been doing for the last 10 minutes, Broadford guys. You better do something else.
I'm not quite sure what the tactic will be here, David. I think they're running out of ideas, but at the moment here it just looks like still the better ball handling skills are coming out of the Wallen team. So the ball goes up, the player's in there, the win there's the Broadford ruckman who pushed the ball to the ground.
That's a free kick, I'll let him in.
Yep, there we go, well done there from Wallen. They've played advantage there, I'm not sure how much of it is though.
It wasn't an advantage, no, that's you're right there, that wasn't an advantage at all. He would have been better off to go back for the kick, and it's come across our side of the ground now. To Stewart, he's had a few kicks, this guy. He's handled the ball a few times, so well, it's a decent looking kick, good trajectory. He's kicked into the centre of the ground, and they're all Wallen players here. But that's in the back. I would have thought the Broadford number 2 here's, but he didn't get it. The umpire said we're going to play on. The guy just ran straight in the middle of his back there while he was bending over. But it is the easiest thing in the world just to stop running and take a push in the back. I know that. But that one looked a bit blatant to me. Anyway, it's in the air, and Rex Sheppy's hit it over the back with his left hand. And that's McCurtich. Yes, he's kicked it down the ground into the scoring zone again. That's a free kick only a man.
Let it go.
And it's another one. The umpire's decided he's not going to damage his lips any further today by blowing the whistle. The Acme Thunder main needs a little Vaseline on it. Here we go, we're up in the air, and the Racks are trying hard. That's a good tap down. And Broadford have taken along the eastern side of the ground, but there's only one player out there. Can he get there before it goes over the line? Yes, he can. There's number 12. I don't know who the heck that is for Wallen, but he's kicked it back.
Number 5 there for O'Sullivan.
And it's in the forward pocket, half forward flank now, and that's a pretty good kick right into the scoring zone. Number 14 flew for it. That was Traven, couldn't mark it. It's gone down to the ground, picked up, and 1 point will result to Wallen with a kick between the left point post and the goal.
Sorry, that was Davies with an accurate kick. So the chance of running around the front of the goal there and having a kick in that wet weather play, but that makes up for those goal snakes who are so good at that because their accuracy is radar right. Broadford kick it out with their full back, pushing out wide now to number 19 here in Broadford, I think it is, or 29 here in Milsa. He then kicks the ball again further along the wing, coming just outside the 50. The big men fly, but it's only number 4 here. Rex Sheppy again for Broadford, who's locking the ball back in and delivering it back inside the 50, looking for a man off the fingers, what could have been a mark. Some of the small men in there in Wallen there has dropped the ball after a really concise tackle there by Broadford. Look, give them credit, they're holding on, they're trying to do their best here. Let's just hope they can turn the tables a little bit. Drawing the ball back out, Duggan out to the wide, to the wing area, and the players push out towards the boundary line. Picked up here by number 6.
Put his head down
there for Saladin there, and now number 9 there from Coomans. The ball's in moved back, but 66 has it here for Wallen. An attempted kick, not marked, taken there by Barber, and we're back out for a ball throw-in. Sorry, from just in front of the goal score.
That's a demonstration, Matt, of the difference there. You know, hitting on the chest, dropping to the ground. The Wallen guy marks it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's a hit over the back. That's a pretty ordinary looking piece of ruck work.
Oh! Laley's kicked the goal for rucking it off or roving off the back of the ruckers. He's then come around there through the 50-metre area, kicked it, and I have to say, excellent shepherding from the full forward there for Wallen to keep the full back out of the game.
Well, it was indeed. Now, well, that's a bit of a disastrous piece of play because the ruckman got it over the back of the pack, and there was only one person there, and that was Laley.
Yep.
There was no defender. I don't know why the hell you did over the back of the pack under those circumstances here.
He's not the smallest guy in the world. You probably could see him from my house, and that's in Kilmore.
You're in Kilmore. So this Hall off the ground, have a look at him. He's only a youngster, isn't he, when he's up close?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he's done pretty well. He's done pretty well. 25's coming on. That's Mannix, Dr. Mannix.
Yep.
Picked up by Duggan. He's fallen over, and that might have been an ordinary-looking tackle on the neck. Oh, and he's paid. Guessing.
That's a bit rough.
I hate to say this, but I think that might be evening up for something that happened earlier in the game.
Yeah, I think the ledge has just been squared, so you can put that kind of attitude away, I think.
But we wouldn't say that officially.
No.
So the ball's on the ground and a bit of mucky work going on, refusing to pick up the ball, but he's kicked it across the ground now.
Sullivan going across the ground there.
Sullivan and Manning, CT would
37, this is Barton delivering the ball wide now to the big man on the forward flank side, who's delivering it straight into the top
that's a 70-metre kick.
Oh, and out the back there, who can grab it? There's bodies everywhere. One of the Wallen boys has it, but now it looks like number 66 there in Robertson having a shy from an angle. And due to the lack of enthusiasm from the crowd, I'd say that's a goal.
That's one goal. It's left footer.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very nice goal.
So that's Robertson actually coming off the pack there at the front of the actual front of the square, a little bit down towards the boundary area there, and reading that well. Radar good, wet weather, kicked, and was through. So good signs.
Should tell the listeners there, that guy played exceedingly well on this basis that he took what I'd call a bit of poise, and he stopped and he held it and he looked and he positioned himself and he put it through with a very, very skillful goal.
Indeed, well put.
So that's a good score to them. 14 goals, 690 to 3 goals, 321, and something needs to happen. I keep saying that, but that's the case. So a good contest in the ruck, but no, he got it away. Kicked up the ground,
holding the man call here in
He's
favour of Broadford.
Broadford, well, that's a surprise, and it's Duggan. That's another evener up. Having you the other way.
Yeah.
He's got the gloves on, this guy too, by the way.
Yeah, he's gone down the ground a fair bit. He's as muddy as you can get, it looks like. It's hard to tell him between a Broadford and a Wallen player at this point in time. But he's got the ball, he's going to deliver it long, which would be a good idea to get inside the forward area. Okay. At the back of the area, though, it's just another Broadford player there, number 5, O'Sullivan, in the right place. At the right time, getting the ball to mark, kicking it wide now to the pocket, and then further out into number 65 here in Loiser. He's got the ball now, tried to get it, lost control, out of bounce, and ready for a throw-in.
So that kick by Duggan was a laser light, picked out the defender for Wallen.
Yeah, couldn't get much more direct target.
That's right. So here we are on the half forward flank on the eastern side of the ground, southern end of the ground if you like, and the ball's out the front. We can't quite see who's got the ball. There's a wrestle, 4 or 5 players going in hard there. It is a tough game, you know. The body work is pretty hard, and a lot of players are going to be a bit sore at the end of this game. And so ball was on the ground there, and Duggan has handed it over, which is very nice to him, to the umpire, because he's had 2 free kicks this quarter. The ball's on the ground again, nothing's happening. Duggan can't get it, the ball's being wrestled and nothing happens.
The umpire takes the ball now for, I'm not quite sure how many ball-ups this is, but he's got to be tired. The players all congest again, the ruckman fly to the tap, it's a little further out now, pushing forward now for Broadford. Duggan again, he's got the ball going in the right direction, towards the boundary line though, but now inside the 50 for Broadford, just near the light tower, near the
Dirtworks.
Dirtworks. I'm not sure what Dirtworks do, but I'm sure they do it well.
Yes, I hope it's not a film producing organisation.
Yeah, me either. The ball gets brought back in by the umpire. Ruckman fly, taps out the back there, looking for Rovers to pick it up off the ground. No one's got it, but the umpire's found a free in the defensive line for Wallen to draw the ball just from outside, or just inside the 50-metre mark, going straight towards the middle of the ground. No one can quite get it. It bowls through all of them like a leg.
Good hand pass by Broadford.
Yeah, Broadford pulling the ball out now. There's plenty of boys running towards the ball, trying to pick it up. Tackles are good, just in time. They weren't in the back, although the umpire says, do you know what I think it was from my angle? So Broadford will actually get the ball here in number 32.
Very fortunate.
Sorry, yeah, Broadford 32 here in Hall. He's going to look to hopefully drill it long or get it inside that 50. The problem is that this is where Broadford has been falling down.
He's waving to somebody, I don't know what that means.
Straight the man on the mark.
Man on the mark.
One count as a mark, the ball's been picked up by Broadford, but brought to the ground and will have a ball up.
That's 25. Who's that? Well, he's a mystery player as well.
Yep.
So we're not sure who's winning or losing here in some of these battles because of the numbers, but there it is. It's on the ground, and the Broadford fellow is trying hard, trying to get it out. He's done everything except bite the ball, and eventually they take it off him. A left foot kick by Wallen down the wing in front of us on the commentary side of the ground. That's the western side. Hit out in front of Grindlay. Grindlay's picked it up, and that's a tackle by the leg, I would have said. But nevertheless, it's going on. 25's got it for Wallen, hand passes it out. That's a pretty good hand pass, and a man standing on his own at the centre half forward position, 41 metres from goal. No angle to speak of, no wind to speak of. The sun is out. Oh well, it's not out, but it's light. I'm lying a bit there myself, but he's gone back and he could conceivably kick this goal.
The 34 delivered that there wide there right into the mount at the top of the, just inside the 50 now. He's running in to have a shot. The kick is a good motion, but everyone moves over to their right a bit, and the umpire says by tapping his shoulder, unfortunately, son, that's only one.
Looked like a point to me.
Yeah, so this is where Broadford get the ball back again. Again, David touched on this, and I'm just going to say it again, the use of the ball by Wallen is just cleaner. They had the ball there on the forward pocket out by the boundary. They brought it round by hand, bit of a congestion, but still kept it moving and got it to a free man just near the 50-metre mark. So this is what, unfortunately, Broadford haven't been doing and have to do. And the fullback has the ball, he's about to bring it out.
And the difference in this quarter to the others is that nearly all the players are one half of the ground now. That's an attempt, I'd say, by Broadford to bottle up the game a bit. Nevertheless, it's out on the other side of the ground. Nevertheless, did I say that's the 27th time I've said that?
Yep.
It's kicked in towards the centre half forward position.
Top mark.
And a mark on the chest, clasped both arms around it, and he's looking like he can play footy, this guy. He's gone back.
66 Robertson.
That's Robertson, yes, yep. Robertson. And nothing to do with Crusoe, of course. And it's Robinson.
How far is that, David? What, about 40?
Yeah, and it's about 39, I think.
Yep. Yeah,
that's a good kick, left foot, but it's drifting across in the direction of the left-hand point post, and the gentleman in the white shower-proof jacket down there, allegedly the goal umpire, is waving one flag. And the score at this stage is 14-8, 92 Wallen to 3-3, 21. And can Broadford pull something out in this last 33 or 4 minutes or so?
They need to get a major, David. They need to get on the board. The fullback now hesitantly brings the ball out past the pocket on the wing, but only to what looks like Wallen players who then lock the ball back in. And number 7 here in Barber kicking the ball.
Left footer across
the face
and
out on the full. So again, they get it out as far as the 50, and then it gets thrown straight back at them.
Yes, and they can't find anybody to kick it to, or a chain of hand passes. They've only had 2 such occurrences during the day where they've had a chain. And here's the ball kicked to a contest again, and the contest is no contest because Wallen have marked it out there, and I don't know who that is, but
number 13
kicked it into the centre of the ground. 13's got it now, Shraven, and he's going to go pretty close to 40 metres from the goal line.
He's not the biggest guy in the world, is he? He's not a huge, look like he wouldn't do a huge kick, but he's got confidence.
Yeah, and he's got a nice technique, by the way. So here he is, he's coming in, he looks pretty serious about it, and here it goes. It's a nice looking kick right into the goal line, no mark, and that's you pick up off the ground, kicked high in the air, nothing happens, kicked away again, that's Greenlay went in, on the ground, picked up by
that was a free kick.
The Greenlay, I think.
The Broadford boy went through and brought down the Wallen fella before he actually had a chance to get to the ball, and he's been flipped onto his back. Just trying to see who that is for
Greenlay.
It is Greenlay, yeah. He can get this and cap off a good day for him because he's been the architect of a lot of goals, but now he's going to have a shot himself, and the umpire says that's a goal.
He says that's no worry, so that was never in doubt, was it?
Nope.
Good skill, good technique, good motion, good run, and he fought hard and deserved that free kick, really.
So unfortunately this pushes the score from 3 goals 3-21 for Broadford, and Wallen 15 goals 8-98 to a 77-point lead, which is starting to feel insurmountable at this point in time.
I think it is, but it's very distressing to me, of course, having to watch 2 college teams win in one day, win in one weekend. That's not exactly my view of the world. But Wallen, not to be disrespected like the Collingwood Magpies, they're a good local team, and we support them. That's number 9's kicked it away.
Oh, good overhead mark there by Wallen in number 22.
22 Stewart. He's had the ball a few times, and nobody out there at all except one Wallen player has taken 45 minutes to pick it up, but then eluded 2 Broadford players to kick it along the centre of the ground and into the middle. It's near the centre circle, beautifully picked up by Wallen.
That's the siren.
And that's the siren to end the 3rd quarter, and I think at this point most of the Broadford players would be eternally grateful that siren is blowing.
Yeah.
They need for Wallen, but anything can happen in the last 30 minutes, and we're looking forward to seeing if Broadford can expect something from their pile of skill. So there we go. 16:46, 15:46 is it? Yes, and the ball's out of bounds again. Right in front of us. I like it coming out of bounds right in front of our commentary box, don't you?
We do get to see the players a little bit closer than so far away. When the umpire has the ball ready to bring it in, the ruckman have raised their arms saying, I'll be taking this, and the congestion draws inwards. They push. There's a punch there. Giuseppe wins that one out there, and Wallen has the ball off the hands, off the feet, pushed out towards the forward pocket, and a Wambrother player trying to keep it into his best balanced effect, number there 32 in Hall, but unfortunately it's gone back over and back to the boundary umpire.
So it's in the forward pocket, and we're capable of being scored if Wallen get possession of the ball, but the ball's hit out the side again, and Broadford did pretty well, but gave it up. And they've run out of everything, I think, just in that little bit of play. But there's a free kick, and it will go to Broadford for around the neck. So can he get it to a Broadford player? That's come right along our side of the round, right, and Duggan in front didn't go for it. And he's claiming the mark, but that's not a very intelligent thing to do because he never looked like marking it. And the ball's on the ground, they're in the mud heap. It looks like a quarry there, and the umpire is saying, "Be careful, fellas." Here it goes. Rexepi is using his body, got it down. Pretty strong work there, and 3. Oh, that's good work by Hibbins. He's tried very hard to get that through, and that'll be close to a kamikaze effort, wouldn't it?
I think so. He needs more support from his players. It was him against 4 there too. There's a push over the top there against the Broadford. Lucky could have had that, but Wallen then push it back down towards their forward line, into their forward pocket. Congestion between two of the players and knocked out of bounds. There's a little bit more I think we need to back up for these Broadford players. Some of these boys are going in, but they need the support.
Well, they do, and it's pretty intelligent to get the ball first, of course. And the ball at the moment is under a car. I think that's a Holden car. And yes, they're trying to extract it. And good work by a fellow in a blue top and a tracksuit. And he's come back over the fence and thrown that ball to the boundary umpire. Excellent work. So we're getting ready to start the game again. And Ruck's here. Well, that's a brand new ruckman for Wallen there. I don't know who that is. Anyway, kicked out the front. That's, I don't know who, a mystery player. And pushed into the...
it's a bit high, thank you. Yep, I think
pushed into the only man that went for the ball, wasn't he?
Yep, so Broadford had the ball in the defensive 50 here on the wing, again going back out towards our side, pointing down the ground towards right in front of us. The big man will fly here, we might be able to hear this, and it goes to the fingers out the back. There's a few pushes in the head there, and a few knockarounds. Number 4 there for Wallen, teaching someone about geography and the colour of dirt. And the ball gets pushed out towards the forward line. Number 80 there for Broadford, pushing himself on there. He is not on the list here.
There's nobody in the goal square. And the front runner is Stewart for Wallen. He's picked it up and just short kicked it into the pocket. And he's going back across the goal, a bit like South Morang last week. He's kicked it 70 metres right across the face of goal to a man standing on his own, transferred it around the wing to another Wallen player standing on his own. Now we've got Jesse Davies with the ball. He's looking for somewhere on our side of the ground. He's transferred it again. They've gone straight across the ground twice now. Rex Happy's got it right on the western wing, right in front of us. That's a hand pass again to McKercher. And he's kicked it into the forward line, into the scoring zone, and that's around the body.
Oh, brilliant goal. Can I say, David, I'm not sure who the player was there, but that was my Mitre 10 construction of the day. That went from the back line, the full back, went from the far wing across the middle, back across the other wing on the other side, back inside to the centre forward area and through for a goal.
They've taken that ball 500 metres.
Yeah.
For what essentially was 150 metres, but Laley has kicked that goal and he's done that with poise.
He has.
He's slowed up the game, he's just taken it on and said, I can do this.
The ball's been brought back to the centre and ball up again. The players dive in. It hasn't moved more than a metre from where it was thrown up. Finally, the umpire says it's not long enough and I'll have it again for a second try. They're starting to wear and get tired, these players. The taps are pushed away there by Broadford, picked up there by Wallendale off it and put in their forward line. Punches go up there, but it's number 50, Hall, who's kind of manhandled without the ball a little bit, and the ball gets locked up there underneath some players for a ball up inside the 50.
It looks like rugby when they do that, doesn't it?
It does. So the umpire has it again. Best stats of the day. Ball goes up, punched away hard by Broadford. 48 there from Gillard, tries to get the ball away. Duggan.
No, Duggan's got the ball on the ground now. That was him that hit it out, the bloke with the gloves. And back out the back of the pack and Broadford had transferred it around our side of the ground. Oh, Rex Happy went for it but couldn't mark it. Hand pass was
Wayward.
too good. That was too good, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Too hard, too fast, too quick, and not out on the hands.
So the boundary umpire has the ball right in front of us here, directly below us. They have to bring it back in. The rucksmans have raised their arms. I'm going for it. Both of them come in. Fair knocks here, and probably no one really a winner there, but comes out to number 5 with a brilliant tackle in there by 23 for Broadford in Duggan there. He took number 5, O'Sullivan, to ground it again, teaching everyone about...
That was a savage tackle, wasn't it?
About
And quite fair, by the way. That was fair.
Yep. Ball comes back in again, the ruckman fly, a little bit of a jiggle there from the Broadford ruckman, who gets the ball out the deck down to the ground. The bodies dive back in, and I think the umpire says, now it's time for the field umpire to have the ball.
Well, it looks like a snake version there. They were wrestling, sliding along on the ground, weren't they?
Yep.
Another start, and here it goes. And Rex Happy battling hard, got it out on the left side. That's Hibbins.
Hibbins there with his one glove.
Look, and that's a pretty good tackle. I would have thought that something had happened there.
It's either got to be one way or the other.
Yeah.
So the Wollongong player has number 6 there in O'Sullivan, has brought down a brilliant tackle to bring down number 33. The umpire is not giving him a free for the great tackle, but the ferocity of it. No, it looks like he's finally decided. He's brought it back to, I think it's number 48.
48. Well, that's interesting, because I reckon the boundary umpire told him to pay
I
that
think
free
you're
kick.
right. Well spotted, David. He picked up on the fact that no one else had seen that, which was pretty hard not to miss, to tell the truth.
Yeah, I would have thought so too, mate. Anyway, that's a penalty in the AFL, isn't it? The guy's standing right next to him.
Gillard delivers the ball with a wonky torpedo. It hits the ground, travels forward. Number 21 fights for the ball here in McGlinlay, trying to get the ball through to anybody, but it's locked out. It pops back out to number 2 in Duggan, kicks the ball, and Broadford is back on the score.
Well,
to see.
Look, that's really good. I'm really pleased with that goal, because they fought hard, didn't they? They fought hard, they gave it everything they had. It wasn't brilliantly skillful by any means, and the goal and the finish was kept almost along the ground.
Yep.
They all count.
They do, and that's wet-wheel football. They did it, and also they could have flared up there, they could have got physical, they could have had a couple of cheap shots. They didn't, and they end up getting a goal, which is what you're here for. So well done.
And Duggan, he's the bloke that I criticised earlier in the game, and I repeat that. I thought his use of his body was unsatisfactory in the first half, but he's done well in the second half.
He has.
And that's that the fellow you like that made the save of the day just got that ball away.
Yes.
And Skillard.
And the ball's locked up now after a ball up. It's a quick ball up there too. It's been locked away now. Slightly towards the favour of Wallen inside the city, so in the middle of the square there. The umpire.
There's an omen. Did you see that? There was a flying magpie on the ground there.
Yeah, but I think the laws of nature have actually given us the indication of which way this game's going to go.
It's unfortunate.
Ball's pushed out of the wing now, and it's picked up cleanly there by Hall. Again, they're moving the ball well around Wallen with handballs now.
Makatic.
Yep, again, dodging, running. And about to, again another handball
That's
out
good
wide.
play.
Yep, and again another handball out there from Wallace. They work it inside the 50. It's up.
Passes over the back, but Broadford have packed up well in defence. Gone out onto the pocket again towards the boundary line, picked up and kicked away.
And it's a great offensive mark there, brought into number 4 here by Wallen, with Rex Heppy having the ball, but it wasn't 10. Forced to play on, kicking straight to the top of the goal square. It's juggled, hits the ground, the little men dive, and we're out of bounds for a throw-in. Now, I have to say, David, it's pretty hard to miss, but right now, Julie Garland will be pretty happy with the state of affair. There's a rainbow like you wouldn't believe going across the ground, and everything's shining in Wallen's favour, I think.
There's a rainbow around my shoulders. Do you know that song?
Can you give me an audition? Can you give me a rendition, please?
Well, we'll try that later.
Okay.
After my 2 red wine stands is free. Look, it's come back onto our side of the ground, and that's a pretty ordinary effort by Broadford there. They should have put the hands down to pick up the ball, where they didn't. They tried to kick it off the ground. The result is there's 14 players all leaping on one another, and they're tearing and shredding each other's jumpers, and number 16 for Broadford has picked up the ball and said, I'm going to hand it to the umpire. That's Hemming, ex-Wallen player, that's the guy.
Yep.
So the Racks have hit it away, and he's a good trier, that fellow for Broadford, Hibbins. He's a good trier. Number 80, I've never seen him before on the day. I think he's just coming into the car park.
It's Fletcher.
Fletcher, I haven't seen him all day, but nevertheless he's enjoying himself out there. 42 has got it now, that's Bella. And he's doing some clever work there, except he got him by the jump of the Broadford fellow. It's a handball over the top again. It's coming back towards the ominous looking transition of Wallen, and 42, that's Valor, has got it again. The ball's gone to the ground. Broadford are trying hard, but it's out in the open now, and Wallen have transferred it to the centre half forward position. Hit over the back of the pack. The Wallen Blokes kicked it along the ground, picked up by Broadford. But that's a holding demand, I would have thought.
There, thank you. Well called, umpire. Picked up there. He never really got possession. Came off his foot and then was tackled and brought to the ground. So out of the defence, number 7 here for Broadford draws it out wide over to number 14 on the boundary line. Again, looking for short, sharp marks, and they're finding them. And they're still only progressing about 10 metres per kick. The kick is long, it's wide.
It's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds, and unfortunately, Norris there wasn't able to reach and bring it back in.
It's in front of the trees on that side of the ground. There are a few trees over there, but we're feeling pretty good because, as Matt pointed out, being a weather expert as he is, there's a rainbow in the sky, and that no doubt suggests that I'll be winning Touch Lotto tonight.
And I'll be going in halves.
Okay, well, if you can find me, you can have half.
Alright, the ball's back onto the centre wing there for Wallen. Possession's held up there, and he's looking down the ground for someone to pass to. The leads are made, but no one really picking up on it. Goes out the back. Big man in number 7 now here for Carmen there for Broadford. Delivers the ball back down the ground, but then marked again by Broadford, by Wallen. This is looking like a bit of a tit for tat, back and forth, kick to kick at the moment. But now a short pass through to number 7 here in Barber, having the ball just outside the 50, kicking it long to the top of the square, and the big men fly, and it's punched away.
Good hand pass.
Yeah.
So he's running now, and he's transferred it into the centre half back position where there's 2 Wallen players on their own pretty well, and he transferred it with a beautiful kick right up the ground to Shraven. Shraven has got the ball on the wing in front of us. He's kicked it into the centre of the ground, right over the umpire's head, who tried hard to mark it.
That's Maloney.
And Maloney, it's got it down into the forward line. It's kicked it off the ground by Wallen, and it's gone through for 1 point.
No,
it's a goal! Goodness gracious! Where's the replay? I've got the video man next to me. Let's see that on immediate replay.
Let's see that square hand motion. Well, let's take it upstairs. If we have any further out upstairs, we can go to. But that.
Well, we've got the video here, mate, right next to us here.
Didn't have gone to me, but obviously it was.
Oh, well, I would have bet money, your money, that is, not mine, on that being a point, mate. But as they say, read about it in the paper tomorrow. It'll be a goal. Hall's coming back onto the ground, and he's coming back very slowly for Wallen, but his boots have taken a thrashing today, those orange iridescent boots. Into the centre of the ground, the ball is hit away, and that's almost a free kick, I would have thought, to the Broadford fellow going for it. But Wallen kicked it into the centre half forward position, kicked off the ground. Duggan's done the right thing, he's transferred it with distance down the ground.
There's a nudge, umpire.
Well, that was a brilliant piece of play. He tried hard to get it, the Broadford belt, he couldn't get it out. Now it's picked up easily, and that's a mark to Shraven, who's had the ball a few times.
We're bringing the ball back here, I think, David. They've gone over the mark and it won't give it the advantage.
Ah, well.
Like,
Thank you for that. Umpires are taught to watch behind the game as well.
Yep.
And the umpire is explaining to him in great detail the ramifications of Rule 42. It is no Rule 42, but it's handy when the umpires want to tell you something.
That's Hemming on the mark there now, trying to wrap up his own former play. There's a handball going past. Hasn't come off that well there too. The tackle is brought down, and not be a transition. That seems to be more of a throw there. As 45 here for Broadford, who again Fleming has pushed the ball back out wide to number 2 here in Cox for Wallen. Good kick, great mark there. About 60 out. A short kicking play there to a congestion, doesn't produce anything. The ball goes out the back. Here's where the Rovers step in, and a shot at goal. Wayward for 1 point there by Wallen, by one of their small forwards, which is, if it turns around, I'll be able to tell you who that is.
Yes. Well, the fullback's got it now. He's going to transfer it to a short pass. No, he's not going to transfer it to a short pass. He's changed his mind. There's only one tactic at this stage, I'd say. That'll be to kick it into the centre circle. That bloke went over the mark by about 22 metres. And no mark at all up here. Picked up by Wallen and kicked back into the centre of the forward zone. And no mark, he says.
No, it's touched off the ball, I believe, and it's play on. So the Wallen players are a little bit more organised than Broadford. He finally do get the ball out to the big man there in number 45 of Fleming, but he's brought down to the ground. He gets the ball away. Number 10 there for Laley for Wallen has the ball wrapped up. so well wrapped up, it won't come out till Christmas, and the umpire says, I want the present now.
Well, that tackle of Fleming was like bringing down the national trade centres in New York, wasn't it?
It was big. It was a big crash.
And that's a very close call to win the back for Wallen, but not to get it. A handball out, there comes now, handball it back straight to Marnie. Marnie got it thrown away, and the umpire has said that's a holding the
one of
ball.
the smallest men, number 11 there, brought down 15, one of the bigger men there. It was a David and Goliath moment there, so good on him, well done for that for Broadford.
He knew to go to the barber's pole for a haircut, that guy.
Yeah.
So number 3's got that Hibbins, he's got it again, he's kicked it out into no man's land. There's not a soul down there, but 25 is leading for the run. That's Mannix, Dr. Mannix, Archbishop Mannix has gone for it. Right in the forward line, Broadford back up, and they get to it.
Oh!
And he's going to pay holding the ball, eh?
That's a bit rough.
Well, I thought it was a bit rough, but nevertheless,
And got to it.
I'm going to let you into a secret. That's what's going to happen. So he's got it now, kicking it into the centre of the half-back line. Sullivan, Dr. Mannix's mate, and another transfer centre half-back right in the middle of the goal line. There's a lot of players here for Wallen. They're running everywhere. They're going crazy. And 13 hit over the back. That was Greenway again. And a handball into the centre. Rex Sheppy, he's picked it up, going backwards. Greenley's got it again. Dummy hand pass.
Hands from Greenley.
13 into the centre. Out it comes to Cumans. And that's very close to holding the ball, I would think. And a Broadford guy, I said Broadmeadows last time I broadcast up here. Broadford fellow was being caught, and that's a fair dinkum tackle, and that was right.
That was Hall who was brought down, trying to travel a bit too far with the ball. Now Wallen having a shot, but looks like 50 metres. He's looking left and right, the Wallen player. I don't think he's comfortable in the distance. So he's done a very short stab, and it's failed to make over the mark, really.
That is a terrible effort, isn't it?
We're at number 6, I think, on the list, but number 12 here for Wallen here has kicked the ball from a shot at goal, only able to find fingertips and through for a point.
Through for a point, a single point. What does that do to the scoreboard? No, not very much, I would think. 17 goals 9, 111 to 4 goals 3. That's 7 shots to 26. That's a fair difference.
Yeah, and my estimations is that the Broadford players have got about 5 minutes here to try to impress the coach before the day is done.
Yes, well, we'll see what happens. And that's a mark.
Finally, a good kick out from the full back here to
That's
32 Hall.
Hall.
Has it on the 50 metre.
And Hall is standing on the mark.
That's the Hall to Hall.
And
that's
a
great
good mark.
there.
That is a great mark to Broadford out in front of us. It's Hemming, that's ex-Wallen player.
His kick is atrocious. It still keeps finding the Broadford players, though, who are trying to push it out of the middle. Numbers don't look too much in Broadford's favour here, but they're working hard. And number 80 here in Fletcher, he's trying to get the ball out, pushed wide to 13 here in Norris. He's got the ball down to the forward line, inside the 50, but
Free well.
Wow, well done. Worked it back out here to number 68 here.
Lovely mark.
66, Robertson out here on the wing.
Robertson.
Pushing into number 12 here for Wallen. He's our mystery player. We still don't know who he is, but in defence it's gone straight to 32 in Hall there, who's pushing it back down the ground, past the centre square area, back down towards the forward flank. Oh, Broadford's play now for
Crude
free.
tackle.
Probably wasn't so much there, but it's still in Broadford's hands. They're working the ball around, trying to get back round to the middle and find...
That's a mark.
And find Fleming again, who delivers it in the forward line, but just to the wrong man.
Yeah, I suppose it's a pretty ordinary because it just picked out that Wallen fella, and the Bulls transferred into our side of the ground where we like. McSeppy's out in front, he's gone to the ground, hit it along the ground. Well played, that's play on, I would have said. Nevertheless, he's saying the tackle is going to be rewarded for holding the ball, and that'll go to Cumans.
That was Davis there who got brought down for the second time in about 5 minutes. That was a great David holding the ball.
And that's a mark straight to Wallen, kicked it straight to him. That's Mannix, Dr. Mannix again. And into the centre of the ground. 25 for Broadford has come through, picked it up, hand passed it out. The umpire got in the way. And 27 for Broadford is fighting hard but can't do anything with it. And the umpire is going to throw it up again. So it must be getting towards the end of this clash now. And
19 and a half minutes into the game.
Yep, and that's hit away well by Gillard. Gillard has tried hard, there's just nothing of him either. He needs a bit of body strength.
That's a Broadford free, one of the players there too. That was again in number 23 in
It's
Duggan, who bent down, got his head down over the ball, doing the right way. So he's kept excellent to number 34 in Kelly, who has the ball probably a little bit forward of the wing area now. He's looking for a short pass. He's gone for it, but there's no one really awake to it. One of the Broadford players picked it up on the run. He's gone for a shot at goal. Is anyone down there? It's ball driven towards the goal.
But, it's a save of the day.
Now the save of the day.
The Bendigo bench save of the day there. He ran onto it, the ball, and fell right in the goal line and picked it up and kicked it away. So it's been transferred back onto the centre wing now, and Wallen have got the ball in their control again. So they're dodging and weaving and running around, and a short kick into the centre of the ground, and that finds Barber. Barber's handled the ball a few times today, but then most of the Wallen people have, I suppose. And across our side of the ground, that's an easy one. You marked it easily, and that's a decent looking kick. But
and a sneaky jump from behind to the front by Wallen's number 19 in McKercher, who snuck around two defenders who thought there was no one there behind them to take the ball on what looks like probably a 5-metre distance dead in front, and puts the ball through for a goal.
Well, he got the distance easily enough. That was 6 metres.
That was a little bit of icing on the cake there for Wallen, really.
It was, and that was a pretty easy mark at the end because there were two defenders on one, weren't there?
There were.
And only one had to hit the ball and it was all over. They couldn't have scored, but that's it.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. And now we find that the score is 18 goals 9, 117 to Wallen, to 4 goals 3, 27.
90-point lead.
And yes, and it's 27 scoring shots to 7. So it's 20 clear scoring shots in front they are. And that probably is a fair reflection of the standard of the game.
Indeed.
So the umpires are looking a bit edgy. They may be getting ready for a shower and a dressing up in proper gear again and putting on their masquerade so people can't tell them their umpires.
Umpires, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's in the centre of the ground, this guy. He's done a fair job, this bloke, by the way.
Yeah, he has.
And he's not a bit worried about what's going on. Good balance, and that was the Hall hit it away again. No, Gillard, that was the hit it away. That was Grindlay. He took his time, got rid of it, picked up by Broadford, and good Damien Martin hand off, don't argue, ran straight over the top of it, that Broadford guy, and I don't think he really wanted to get it.
No.
But the ball's out of bounds, and now there's a Grindlay wants to fight. Well, I should imagine the best advice you could give Corey Grindlay was don't fight because I don't think you're going to come out in front.
No, he's not the biggest boy in the world, but he's certainly got a lot of energy. I'm surprised this time of the day anyone's got energy left to fight with. Yes. Anyway, the ball gets tapped away as it gets thrown in by the rucks. No one turned one's favour, both Broadford, but the umpires found a free. The tackle afterwards was a bit too sling and too fast. Number 5 for O'Sullivan takes the ball now, looking to go across the ground.
What are they doing?
The umpire's bringing number 23.
There's Dagany, by the way.
He's trying to buy himself an extra 5 metres. Didn't buy it. The umpire said, "I don't buy you." Didn't hear my whistle 3 times. So Duggan's coming off the ground for a break, and O'Sullivan. Well, that's a healthy 50 metres.
It is. It is. Yes. North Korea couldn't fire a rocket that far.
No, I don't think so. I think the umpire was thinking about going home. And now O'Sullivan, short pass to the top of the...
They're doing another one. Well,
it's all gone a little bit haywire here. The second 50 in a row, and O'Sullivan now will find himself coming from the back flank, where he picked a free kick up for a late tackle on him to get 2 50-metre penalties, to be sitting dead in front. You can't miss this, really.
The penalty is too big for that, though, isn't it?
It is.
And a B-double truck would have to refuel 3 times to get up that distance. The umpire is still going on about another player to be moved. I don't think he could take him back another 50, he'd be up in the cemetery.
And surprise, O'Sullivan puts it through for a goal. Well, that doesn't really help Broadford's state of mind, I think, in the fact that they're giving away those kind of free things, but I guess the frustration's starting to well over a little bit.
Could be, and that was a fair bit of coaching to take Duggan off the ground when that incident was going on. I think that's a sensible thing to do. Should have done that earlier in the game, I think. But nevertheless, let me recant, because Duggan has played okay in the second half of this game. He's used his body pretty intelligently and pretty strongly. It took a fair bit of courage to do some of the things he's done.
Yep.
But those 2 50-metre penalties really is annoying and irritating, isn't it?
Yeah, look, if they're there, they're there, but I don't know. Look, the ball's been thrown up. We're back in the middle now. Tapped down. It's a quagmire now in the middle, and as the boys dive on top, the umpire says, "I feel like doing this again." So he'll take the ball. The boys will get ready to go back into it. 24 It's close to 25 minutes gone in the quarter as the ball goes up in the air again. A good tap out there to Broadford, down to number 3 and pushed straight down their forward line. But the defensive line for Wallen is strong. Someone's shown some candy, pushed off now to the wing where, again, Broadford should pick up the clean skills and kick it back down in to the side of the 50. The ball's wayward to the forward pocket and it looks like it's going to be meeting the boundary line faster than it can find any other player. And that's no, it's been kept in. Dribbled across the line by Muldoon. Excellent work there and pushed out to the wing, found out there by number, I think 34 and Kelly, who's pushed the ball back into the centre there in number 9. And we have
Makitic.
Makitic with the ball.
So they're getting a series of short passes running here, and that was a bit lazy by Muldoon. Put up one hand, picked up by Broadford and transferred onto the half forward flank. And I don't know who that is. It's an interesting kick though, right into the forward pocket. No chance of a score because the only people there that could have received it were Wallen players, and it was a bad kick. Nevertheless, it was good mark and a good piece of play to get it down into that forward pocket. They're only about 12 or 13 metres from the goal line, and it's going to be thrown in by the boundary umpire. Nobody except the Wallen player standing on the goal line, a bit like the Sousa last week.
There it goes, David, the siren's gone.
The siren's gone. Well, that's the end of this clash today, and Broadford will be very happy to hear that siren go. Nevertheless, there were some interesting things happen for Broadford, and it's not all doom and gloom, I wouldn't think. There are some positives to take out of it, and we'll get to those in a few moments. But let's recount the final score. 19 goals 9, 123 Wallen, to 4 goals 3, 27 to Broadford. And Matt, that's a fair belting in the end.
96 points is a big lead no matter what's said, but unfortunately we can't say that Broadford really won any of the quarters there. They showed some signs of some fight back as the players now are all amassing to shake hands, which is good to see considering there was so much energy in the wrong way. The umpires made themselves off in a pack, a bit like a turtle shape. And I think it's partly defensive, it's also partly because they want to get off the ground. But all the players shaking hands, there's a general nods around the grounds that the game was probably not really up for grabs after half time, but there were still plenty of opportunities to show some growth and some change. What was good, as I thought, though, was that the coaches were able to make changes during the game there that had different